Hello everyone. Today we will start our new chapter, that is quadratic equations. Well, did you hear the word quadratic before? You have heard the quadratic word before in the chapter of polynomials. In the polynomials chapter, we have discussed what are quadratic polynomials. The standard form of quadratic polynomials were ax square plus bx plus c is equal to p of x, and the coefficient of x square, that is a, is not equal to 0, because if the a would be 0, then the polynomial would be a linear polynomial. Before discussing what are quadratic equations, let us see why are we learning them. The answer of this question lies in the fact that there are numerous real-life examples where the knowledge of quadratic equation is of utmost importance. Let us take a real-life scenario here. When a football player kicks the football, the trajectory of the football starting from this point is something like this, and the ball bounces at this point and rebounds and follows the same trajectory and rebounds at the other point. Or let us take an example of a cricket player hitting the ball for 6 runs. When he hits the ball from this point, the ball follows the trajectory of this kind, or of a bigger U, or this kind. These kinds of trajectories or these kinds of curves are called as parabolic curves. You can see in the graph here that the parabolic curves are represented as the upside down U or the normal U. The equations of these curves are of the kind ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0. These curves are represented by quadratic equations, right? But you may ask, why do we call them quadratic? We call these equations quadratic because the highest power of the variable in this equation, that is x, is 2. We also call these equations as second degree equations. When you see in this equation, there are three terms: ax square plus bx and plus c. The first term, that is ax square, is called as the quadratic term. The second term, that is bx, is called as the linear term. The third term, that is c, is the constant. As you have seen why the quadratic equations are so important, let us see what we are going to learn in this chapter. In this chapter, we will discuss what are solutions or the roots of the quadratic equations. After this, we will discuss what are the different types of methods to solve quadratic equations. And finally, we will discuss the quadratic formula.